Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. What up, though? What's good? Happy holidays to everybody out there, man. I got this. It's a little bit warm for what I got on. If you're here living in the South, I got on my my sheep fur. No, I'm just playing. This is Sherpa, is what they call it, I guess now. I got my Snuggie inside out. Looking real cozy, you know what I'm saying? It's Christmas Eve. Shout out to everybody out there making it here on this Wednesday night, late night. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourself. This is a different edition. This is a recorded version of At the Further Review, obviously, because it's Christmas Eve. I had to do some family stuff. Didn't make it back on time because traffic, one thing led to another, whatever you want to, it doesn't matter. But I'm here. I wanted to give you guys an episode for Christmas Eve to talk about this big time win against the Bucs. I couldn't go a week without talking about it and giving the film breakdowns because we have to look at what was going down. We got a couple big things, obviously. We're going to see how long this episode goes. I usually go 2 hours. We'll see how fast this one goes. If it's a lot shorter than usual, that means it's y'all fault. When y'all on this live stream, y'all be distracting me and keeping me off track. So I'm blaming y'all if this episode ends up way shorter than. But regardless, I appreciate anybody and everybody that's tuning in. It is the holidays. I got something to do on Christmas as well. I do. They done put me on cooking duty again. We talked about it at Thanksgiving, dog. I experimented with banana pudding. It was my first time making it. It came out well, so I'm not going to front. My banana pudding came out good on Thanksgiving. I broke the rules where they said that you're not supposed to experiment for Thanksgiving. But they volunteered me again to make some red beans and rice. I got more information today from my mother-in-law that it was my wife that put me up to this. I haven't made red beans and rice in years, and when I did, it was the instant kind. The instant kind, and that was only enough to serve 2 people, me and her. This is back when we was young Thundercats, dating. So she gonna volunteer me for something I ain't made in like 6 or 7 years. I'm like, I'm not no guru. I'm from South Carolina. I'm not from the swamps of Louisiana. I'm not. Like, so why am I being volunteered for this type of stuff? All that being said, I did what any responsible adult would do in this scenario. I went to TikTok to get a recipe, and I'm making it from scratch. I could not do the instant stuff. I'm making it for my wife's side of the family. So again, a lot less judgment on that side. The banana pudding went over pretty well. Apparently, it was well liked and well received. So I'm experimenting again. And again, I am doing it from scratch. So we'll see what happens. I got my beans soaking right now. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Let that thing simmer for a couple hours before we head out over there. And we're going to see. I guess we're doing a Cajun style menu or Louisiana. I don't know. Somebody's doing some crawfish, pasta. I don't know. But I'm responsible for the red beans and rice. I didn't get no cornbread or nothing. I didn't get any neck bone, the turkey necks either. Everybody everywhere was out of turkey necks. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm on duty. I am on duty and I'm experimenting with red beans and rice. It don't seem that hard. It doesn't seem that hard, so I hope I don't mess it up. I should have bought some instant red beans and rice just to have a backup plan, dog, but it just didn't work out that way. I didn't think about it. I was rushing around in the grocery store. It was super busy there, so I wanted to get up out of there. So that's what I did. But y'all wish me luck. I'm experimenting again. I will let y'all know how the red beans and rice turn out. With all that being said, let's get into some Carolina Panthers news. Oops. This is still one take only. Just because this is a recording, still one take only. Players gonna mess up every so often. So if you see me mess up, mind your business, right? If you see me mess up, mind your business. All right. So Panthers news. Big Rob Hunt is opening his 21-day practice window to return to the team. Yes, our highest paid offensive lineman, I think, still. I know Moten got that bag, but regardless, he is one of our key pieces. He's an emotional leader because he just has such a good time out there. He's a huge offensive lineman that gets to the second level. I talked about this run game struggles, and a lot of it has to do with us not getting to the second level, which is Robert Hunt's specialty. So being able to potentially get him back, whether it's this week, because I know his window just opened, so I don't know if he'll be back right away. It's happened a few times for the Panthers where the same week that they opened the practice window, somebody came out. But more likely than not, for our guys, they hold them out one good week until the following. That's what they did with Jalen Coker. It seems like that's what they're doing with David Moore as well. David Moore had his window open up last week, missed last week's game, but he'll be going Probably this week. We'll see what happens, if he's active or not. But that's just what they've been doing in terms of their return to play tendency. So I expect Rob Hunt to be back for that Week 18 matchup, round 2 versus the Bucs. And that will be right on time. Yes, Sunday matters against the Seahawks, but we need him back and be in full force in Week 18. So Austin Corbett will be probably relegated to the bench. Of course, he's been filling in at center, at guard, at left guard. He's been playing everywhere. Hasn't been great, but he's been serviceable. But bruh, we need Rob Hunt in the worst way, again, for the running game, but also for pass protection as well. Going against the Bucs that week, they're going to have Kalijah Kancey, who has also opened up his 21-day window. Easily their best pass rusher for the Bucs currently. Plays that interior. He's smaller. He's quicker. He got Robert Hunt a few times in the games we played last year. So he's a factor, and he just hates Bryce Young. If you go back and watch some of the plays, he just hates Bryce. He does. You can tell by the energy that he hates Bryce. But all that being said, we get Robert Hunt back, man. It's going to be a boost from the running game, boost for the pass protection, and boost for just an emotional standpoint of it. Hopefully we can get this run game clicking. It's been off. We haven't been able to get those explosive runs because guys are just simply getting whooped up front. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. And also Rico's beat up. He's not breaking the same tackles that he used to break. So you see Chuba looks a little bit better with burst because he's getting those downhill runs. Those runs where he can just get it and just get on top of the defense in a hurry. Rico, those gap runs, they're slower developing at times. You have those backside safeties closing. When we try to run zone, we're not getting a big push. Robert Hunt's big. He can move. That's going to help out. So we'll see what the timing is for Robert Hunt. Again, he's been working out for a little minute. He had that biceps injury that put him on IR for most of the year. And, of course, the fact that we're in the playoff hunt probably makes it a little bit more motivating to want to come back and get on the field. You know what I mean? Especially when you see that, hey, I can help this team because they got some issues at right guard. Yeah. The sacks haven't been there, but the pressures and the hits on Bryce Young are starting to add up, and the running game is struggling. So we definitely need Big Bob back. BBB. Shout out to Big Baller Brand. But I'm not going to waste too much time, brother. I'm not going to waste too much time because we got to get to these slides. See, I can get straight to my slides when y'all not distracting me, right? I can get straight to these slides when y'all not distracting me. It's easy. It's easy. Right? So, boom. Offensive performance. The biggest takeaway for me was the breaking play calling tendencies. Getting out of predictability. If the defense doesn't know what you're going to do, you keep them on your toes, it's easy to get things running. I know we've been a 3-yard in a cloud of dust type of team where we run on first, run on second, try to pass on third, make fourth down manageable and go for it on fourth, getting 3, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, and just like being predictable. Early downs. I looked at the stats. In weeks 1 through 15, which is pretty much every week besides this Bucs game, we passed the ball 143 out of 325 attempts. So we had a first down pass rate of only 44%. That's a lot. That's the only amount of time we passed. 44% of the time. The other 56 run. So more often than not, teams can realize that, hey, the Panthers, they want to run the ball, they want to pound it, they're going to run the ball. But this week, we flipped that. We passed 15 out of 23 times on we had a first down. 65%. A 21% increase in first down passing rate by the Panthers. Breaking tendencies. Keeping the defense off balance, even if it's just a 5-yard hitch or a little play action, roll out, dump off. We were keeping them off balance. Changing things up, giving yourself different opportunities, giving the defense different looks. Now they're on their heels. Makes it a lot easier. Pretty much letting Bryce Young cook. Even if you're not throwing the ball, checking it down the field, putting the ball in Bryce Young's hands on first down to get things going. That's leaning into it. There's a stat called pass rate over expected. The Carolina Panthers have only had 2 games all year where they've had a pass rate over expected. And pass rate over expected pretty much measures if somebody is pass happy, are they staying balanced? And they pretty much look at down and distance and scenarios. Are you losing? Are you winning? If you're up, they expect you to probably run more, to run the clock. If you're losing, they expect you to pass more to play catch up, right? And so, like, if you're running in those scenarios where you're trailing, when you probably should be passing, or you're passing when you probably should be running to protect your lead, that's how they get the pass rate over what they expect you to do. And this is only the second game where we've had a positive pass rate over expected, meaning we passed more than we probably were supposed to or were expected to. The only other game besides that was San Francisco. And we know how bad we got away from the running game there. That was the Rico game where he only had like 9 carries and he had a talk with Canales after the game because he didn't get the ball enough. They really put the ball in Bryce Young's hands. That's because he was coming off of that Atlanta performance where he threw for 450 yards. Canales even admitted he wanted to really try to build off what they did that previous week with Bryce. So that makes sense why that one was over there. But every other time, we run way more than expected. This is only the second game we had a pass rate over expected. So they really, really leaned in to Bryce. Really, really leaned into Bryce. That pass rate over expected, we had the lowest pass rate over expected on first down in the NFL in the first 15 weeks. So, like, again, even when we're down on first down, we're running the ball. Even when we're expected. Like, we're not being aggressive in terms of the passing game. But then in week 16, we had the 3rd highest pass rate over expected on first down. So again, when you're expecting runs on these first downs, we were the 3rd highest team where we actually bucked the system and said, we chucking that ball. So just breaking the tendencies, keeping the team off balance, really putting the ball in Bryce Young's hands is what I saw as breaking play calling tendencies by Dave Canales. Interesting approach. I didn't think the running game was particularly solid anyway. We got some runs when we needed to move some yards. And the scripted plays, we had phenomenal chunk runs. Rico tripped over his own feet, could have probably scored a rushing touchdown on the opening drive. But he had another run that hit up the middle that was pretty good. We'll look at it a little bit later in this. But I thought tendency-wise, man, he kept them on their toes. But the other thing about the offensive performance, and I only have 2 takeaways here specifically, is the deep ball prowess. The deep ball prowess. There have been a lot said about Bryce Young's ability to throw the ball down the field. There's been a lot said about Dave Canales' willingness to throw the ball down the field, particularly after that Saints game. That's all the media wanted to talk about. Why isn't Bryce throwing deep? Is Bryce scared to throw deep? Is he whatever? We looked at it on this show, on this channel. If you're a member, if you're a loyal live watcher, you saw us break down the film where Bryce had guys like XL open down the field, where they had a Jalen Coker open down the field that he just turned it down and did not pull the trigger. He didn't. And we have to just have honest discussions about Bryce Young. Can we do that? Can I do that without y'all getting in y'all feels? Because any criticism I say about Bryce Young gets taken so out of context. I'm a Bryce Young guy. So when I say this is out of love, this is out of objectivity, this is out of fairness. If I came on here and just glazed and lied and didn't tell the truth, y'all wouldn't respect me. But I think y'all respect me because I can try to stay balanced in terms of not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but also being able to have fair and legit criticism. That's what I think. And so let's talk about it. Because Bryce Young, newsflash, does not have the strongest arm in the league. Is it a noodle arm? I don't call it a noodle arm. Is it adequate? Yeah, it's adequate. As in, you can get by with it. And the fact that he throws with anticipation, it makes up for a lot of the lack of zip that he sometimes has on passes. A lot of it also has to do with him not using his legs much. People have talked about him being a toesy thrower. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of quarterback, but I know that when you don't have your feet flat in the ground and you're pushing off, you're not going to be able to put a lot behind a lot of your throws. He can still generate some torque and force with his hips and his motion, but I think a lot of it has to do with him being a toesy thrower. Is he a toesy thrower because he's shorter? Maybe. Potentially, probably, but that's just how he's done. That's how he's always going to be. There's some inconsistencies in his mechanics as well. But more often than not, he's very, very accurate, and the ball placement is his specialty, right? So in terms of throwing the ball deep, he's just not that confident on certain type of deep throws. Notice how most of the deep throws he makes are timing and rhythm throws. He'll take that ball, take that 3-step drop, get the hitch, and let it go. It'll be a one-on-one shot down the sideline on the red line. They call them red line throws. The red line, and we'll look at it on the tape. The red line is that about halfway between the numbers and the sideline. You want the receiver to go no further outside when they run these routes than that red line. That way you give the quarterback plenty of room on the outside to be able to do that. And so Bryce Young, he throws them in timing and rhythm. He's not going to just sit back there, hold it for a long time, and chuck the ball deep like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes used to. If he's going to throw it deep, it's going to be because he sees something in the defense, he reads an opportunity, and he's taking a shot down the field. He's just not comfortable throwing the ball deep late in the down, whether it's because of the defense, whether it's because of the confidence in his arm to be able to get it there. But Dave Canales, it was up to him to figure out how do we get Bryce Young comfortable. What's do what Bryce Young is comfortable with? He always talks about that. What is Bryce comfortable with? Taking shots down the field with one-on-one opportunities down that red line. That way you have a guy one-on-one. You throw it outside, it's either his ball or nobody's ball. You have a clear picture on where the guy is. You have a clear picture on the rest of the defense. You ain't got to worry about some safety tricking you and baiting you and closing on it and coming over the top and getting it. You got a one-on-one opportunity. So a lot of the times that we've done that, that's why you see a lot of us, a lot of times we take shots, is on 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, like the Rams game, or 4th down, on like in the Rams game. And granted, that wasn't the T-Mac one wasn't a sideline throw, but the Jalen Coker one was. When he's been a lot more aggressive in those scenarios because, hey, you're going to get an opportunity. When do we get our best opportunity to get one-on-one, no safety help over the top, where Bryce Young could just rear back and take a shot? Because more often than not, blitzes are coming, so the ball has to come out quick anyway. And so you give Bryce an opportunity to get the ball out of his hands before the blitz gets there and give our big receivers one-on-one opportunities like Jalen Coker or T-Mac down the field. And I think Bryce Young, again, being that timing and rhythm type of deep ball thrower, that's the type of throws that he wants, needs, likes, and is good at. So kudos to Dave Canales for being able to lean into that. Look at this. Since week 11, we are first in the league in deep throws at 5. Excuse me. Let me hear this. Let me reset this. On 3rd down, 3rd or 4th down, in 5 or less, which is those times where I was talking about where the defense are going to be blitzing, they're going to have one-on-one opportunities, a lot of man coverage probably. That 3rd and short, 3rd and the 4th and short, like we saw against the Rams, or we saw a few times against the Bucs. The Carolina Panthers are first in the league on deep throws in those scenarios. Because most of the time, why don't you just throw it right past the sticks? You only need 4 yards, 5 yards. Why not throw it just past the sticks? Why take a higher risk throw down the field when you only need 3, 4, 5? It's because you have to find opportunity for Bryce Young to be able to throw the ball down the field. You're going to get those favorable matchups because you know it's 3rd and 4th and short. So because we run the ball on 3rd and 4, we run the ball on 3rd and 3. So we've shown our willingness to run the ball. So they have to respect that as well. And so when they respect that, we get one-on-one opportunities outside. Again, we have the most deep throws on 3rd and 4th and short in the NFL since week 11, which is the Falcons game. But also in those scenarios, I looked at where's the ball location on these throws. Of those 5 throws in those scenarios, 0 of them have gone deep in the middle. None of them have gone in the middle of the field. No deep passes in the middle of the field. The only one beyond 20 yards that we've had just in general over that span is that one it was a comeback to T-Mac against the Saints. It wasn't even like a going over the top over the middle. It was 20 yards down the field. He ran a curl route off a play action, and we threw it directly at him. So that's not even a go ball. That's just a 20-plus yard throw. That's not a deep throw, in my opinion, like a vertical route deep throw. So Bryce Young just isn't as comfortable throwing deep in the middle of the field. We just haven't done that. But he's a lot more comfortable throwing on the outside to those sidelines. Like I said, it allows him to lean into that timing, that rhythm, that accuracy, and ball placement, which is his specialty, versus just pure arm strength of waiting for a guy to be 50 yards down the field and you just chunking it like that. Because I'm positive Bryce Young can throw 50 yards, but 35, 40, 25, those areas, he's going to have way more ball control, arc, ball placement, and accuracy on his throws if you keep him in that scenario. That's why you see so many times we get to that, I call it the high red area, which is like the 25 to 30 to 35 yard line. That's when we're taking shots. Versus us backed up, we're not taking a lot of shots backed up. Bryce is chucking it. Guys are catching it and running it. We're not doing it like that. A lot of times it's that 30, it's that 25, 30, 35 yard line, and we're taking shots from there. Right? And so we'll take a look at it here in the film breakdown, our first one of this one. Let's go ahead and get into it. So shout out to everybody. If you have not given it a thumbs up, give that thing a thumb. But again, the deep ball prowess really came alive for the Carolina Panthers. And you see Bryce Young being a lot more confident and accurate. So I think you got to give Canales credit for figuring out what type of opportunities are there. Yeah, you're being very, very aggressive by throwing the ball for 20 on 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5. But if Bryce Young has that type of ball placement there, that's the times that he's actually accurate and confident throwing those deep passes. You have to find that because you have to be able to stretch the field at some time. Even if it's in more aggressive scenarios, you have to find some point to be able to get that. So shout out to Dave Canales for being able to figure that out and leaning into what Bryce's strengths are. Again, he doesn't have the biggest arm. There's opportunities down the field at other times as well that Bryce Young kind of turns down on like deep posts and stuff that we call. It's not like Canales abandons them. But it's clear and obvious, like I told you, we had not attempted any deep middle passes since week 11, over that span where Bryce Young's finally started to open things up. On that 3rd and 4th down and short, we're the most aggressive team. We have the most deep throws in the NFL. So that's when Bryce Young is able to figure it out. When that blitz is coming, when he has one-on-one opportunities down the field because people are either trying to stop the run since we've been able to run on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. So that's what we've been able to unlock with the deep ball. So putting the numbers to the film, man, this is what I like doing, the puzzle pieces, and it's starting to make sense. And again, if people start respecting that, they start playing off on 3rd down and 4th down and short, we'll run the ball. Run Chuba on 3rd and 3. He's gotten first downs before. We did it this game too. You know, so it's just like pick your poison. We're going to be aggressive on 3rd down. You have to be aware of it. I like it. It's ballsy. You know, you got to be able to hit them when they do happen, but it's ballsy. But let's talk about Bryce Young's performance. Because to me, I thought it was not a masterclass per se, but this is probably one of the better Bryce Young performances in his career. Where would I put it in terms of like ranked? I don't know. Is it in the top 10? Potentially. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the circumstances. non-existent run game. You know, the blitz was coming heavy. Look, again, in week 16 against the Bucs, Bryce Young completed 21 of 32 passes for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. Young was particularly effective when targeting outside the numbers. Remember, outside the numbers, like I talked about, specifically deep. You look at these 4 green dots, 1, 2, 3, 4 green dots. I mean, those are the intermediate and stuff, but you can see the deep shots are not in the middle of the field. The deep shots are 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside. These 3 on the outside. These 2 on the outside. But 10 of 16 outside the numbers, both his touchdown passes were there. His 2 touchdowns came against man coverage. 21 of 32. I just thought that he had to carry, bro. That's why I think. He was pressured 17 times, but only sacked twice. And one of them was because his foot got stepped on. The other time was just a jailbreak that they blitzed off play action when his back was turned. A pressure to sack ratio of 11%. Baker Mayfield wasn't pressured that much, but he was sacked more often than not when he was pressured. The sack ratio of 22. Bryce Young's sack avoidance and pocket presence is second to none. I showed you all those times he hung in the pocket and got smoked. He was pressured on 47% of his dropbacks. Josh Neisman gave up 6 pressures again, starting at left tackle. He gave up 6 pressures against Jacksonville as well. The 47% pressure rate was the 6th highest in the NFL this week. He was 6 for 9 on third or fourth down, and had a touchdown, just being clutch. Again, no running game from Rico or Chuba to support him. They knew we were going to drop back and pass. He was able to deliver the ball. He scrambled when he needed to. We saw a zone read from him. Even after getting his ankle stepped on, he showed toughness. This dude really carried. This is one of the performances where you could say, can Bryce Young carry you to victory? He did that. He did that. I can only think of one, the miss to Jimmy where he didn't see him. That's probably the only thing that stuck out to me where Bryce Young was just, like off. You know what I'm saying? I thought Bryce Young was accurate down the field. He pushed the ball down the field. He took shots when we needed to. He was composed under the pressure. Again, 47% pressure rate. 17 pressures in one game. And he was only sacked twice. His pocket presence is second to none. It's one of his most underrated aspects of his game that nobody in the NFL really talks about or respects. He's not overly athletic, but he's slippery as a mug. You saw the touchdown pass to JT Sanders, avoiding defenders, getting through there, finding him. Even the play before that where he slipped through and he threw the ball away. He avoided the sack. Rico Dowdle got pushed out of bounds for illegal touching, so Bryce just threw it away. But that's the type of Houdini acts that he pulls on a week-to-week basis that people are like, oh, the O-line is just so good. They're not playing great. A lot of it has to do with injuries. He's still getting pressured. They're getting whooped in the trenches in terms of the run game. But Bryce Young's ability to buy time, get rid of the football, and just hang in there and deliver and just get hit makes the sack numbers look so much better. And maybe that's graduated from him getting sacked 60-plus times as a rookie. Maybe there is some marginal improvement. Not marginal. There is improvement from the O-line in general, even though they're still not great, but they were just all-time bad as a rookie. But the fact to see him have that happen to him as a rookie, when he got benched last year, a lot of it has to do with him looking at the rush, not being calm, having happy feet, into where he is now in terms of his pocket presence to get back to the guy that we know he is. I thought this was one of a very, very clutch Bryce Young performance when we needed him the most. I loved everything I saw from Bryce. This golf is rough. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I don't know how old this water is. But I need it. I need it. I need it. All right, it's about defense, man. We ain't gonna stay too long. Yeah, I'm not gonna be before you too long. Shoot, let me get a sip of water again. All right. Woo. So defense. I thought they did a good job of mixing up the coverages. We ran our typical high zone, obviously 7 zone. I'm looking at numbers. We ran zone 73.3% of the time, man 26.7. We ran a little bit of cover 0 at 6%, but we lived in cover 1. Ran some cover 1, and we're going to run mainly cover 1 and cover 3. That's what we do. We run mainly cover 3. We rotate the cover 3 sometimes. We run cover 1. That way you can disguise it. Is it man coverage? Is it going to be zone? Keep the quarterbacks on their toes. And then we ran 20% cover 2, which is new as well. We've done it a lot more. Our corners are very, very aggressive. They're lengthy. They get their hands on a lot of different passes. The fact that we play so far off, I think people try to nickel and dime us at times. So mixing it up with cover 2 to put the corners down is a good change up at times. And what we've done, and I've liked what I've saw sometimes, is they know Mo Rig, he could play over the top sometimes, but he's better closer to the line of scrimmage. And so one side, they'll have Mike Jack short and Nick Scott deep for traditional cover 2. But on the other side, they'll flip it. They'll invert it. And so they'll let Mo Rig buzz down to the flats because he's better tackling, stopping the run. You don't want him deep, being the deep guy if he gets caught up one-on-one or 2 receivers going deep. They put him down close to the line of scrimmage playing in that shorter area space, and they let JC be the deep half defender. That way, JC, who is a better cover guy, can play deep, can cover that range, and do what he does as a coverage man. He can play the run as well, but we feel a lot better about Mo Rig, the more physical defender, being down the flat. So that's just good tweaks, leaning into the skill set of your players. And they don't always do that, but that's a change-up that I see that they don't do on the other side with Mike Jack and Nick Scott. Because I think they like Mike Jack being that aggressive wide side corner in cover 2. And Nick Scott is pretty good over the top. He's our deep safety currently in the system. So I thought the variety of coverages was good. Third down distance really was the kind of make or break. Third and medium was like killers for us. And I tweeted it out. I was like, dude, if we can be decent on first down with these runs and get them into long down and distance, we were able to get into our blitz package on third and longs, and they were very, very effective. They blitzed Roseboom a lot. He had 1 sack, and they had another one that they blew dead because of the delay of game. They came back. And obviously DB had a sack. JC had a blitz that he missed, but DB cleaned it up. But that was a corner blitz and a nickel blitz. I thought that the difference of it, like I said, was just third down. If we were in third and medium, we all know we play soft. And so they were just getting the ball out quick, finding holes in our defense very, very easy, and moving the sticks there. But again, when it was third and long, yeah, we was cranking that thing up on the blitz aspect. We were. And we played some man. You're like, okay, let's play. By the time we try to man up on third and medium, Baker would take off. Everybody's back into the football, so Baker's scrambling for 23 yards, 30-some yards here and there. I'm not going to lie, bro. When Baker Mayfield scrambled for like 20-something or 30 on that final drive that they were trying to go downfield and tie or win the game, I got PTSD from last year because remember, we had took the lead, and then that scramble on Baker had set them up to tie it up for overtime. Like literally, I was like crashing out at home. Crashing out at home, man, because I'm like, not again, bro. Same field, same scenario. Like, no way this is happening to us again. No way. But we ended up getting the turnover. I thought linebacker-wise, Roseboom is still suspect in coverage. Some of the mistakes he was making against the Saints last week, throwing them off, like jumping underneath routes and leaving the middle. They didn't do it a lot. They tried to run the ball a lot more, so it played into our hands. But it's going to be something that you're going to keep seeing teams try to exploit. Get to that middle of the field with those dig routes, those square ends right behind our linebackers, because they don't get depth. They don't. They try to play everything underneath way too aggressive. And so you can use that to bait them. I thought Roseboom was bad in coverage. He had some moments blitzing for sure. Against the run, he showed up as well. Sherrills, I'm not going to lie. Sherrills is not like some guy I'm banging the table for to be a starter. But he's night and day the way he plays the run in terms of taking on and avoiding blocks, lateral movement, reading his keys. He's just better than Wallace, in my opinion, right now. Maybe even Roseboom in terms of avoiding blocks. Maybe not so much of diagnosing. But definitely he takes on blocks and avoids them way better. And he's not a guy that avoids the block and it leaves a huge hole. No, he's smart getting there. He's fast. He's long-armed. So he's confident taking those on, but still keeping his eyes in the backfield. He's just way better. If you remember, I'll probably drop a couple clips just to show you what I'm talking about for him. But he's just way better at avoiding blocks than anybody else we have. Another 20-point effort by the Panthers. Defense allowed 20 points. It's been a magic number a few times this season. Whether we won or lost, it's been up to the offense. But 20 has been the magic number. It's never pretty how we get there. Ball control from our offense helps protect them a lot, but not being able to stop the run at times either. I think they never really gave up the big run. They gave up that Rashad White run, and then, of course, the Baker runs. But they never really gave up the huge, huge runs. They were just 4, 5, 3, 6, 7, 9, 3, 4. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the Bucs, they were determined to run the ball. We just never gave them the big one. They didn't have the patience. Huge stop on the goal line by J.C. Horn to get that to make them settle for 3, because they were going to go up 14-3. So they did a great job early in the game, really kind of locking in for us until the offense can get on track. That was a huge turn of events, because if we go down 14-3, it's looking weary. But the fact they held them to 3, it ends up being 10-3. We come down and we're able to get things rolling with another 3 points, unfortunately. And then we score before half because they got to stop. It's complimentary football. Holding on long enough until the offense can get themselves together. Because that open drive by the Panthers, it should have been 6. Rico tripped over his own foot, but we only got 3. Could have been a different game. But it is what it is. The defense did their job. Evero, I don't know what's going to happen, man. There were some weird comments. Remember, Canales talked about the defense against the Saints being all out of whack. And then they brought it up to Evero and said, hey, Canales says that the defense was all out of whack. What do you say? He said, I wouldn't say it like that. But da-da-da-da-da. So it could be nothing. It could be something. Again, Ajiro's in the final year of his contract. He'll be a free agent after this year regardless. I fully expect him to not want to come back. He's not going to complain here. I mean, he's well paid by us. Will he get well paid again to come back? I don't think so. Would I be willing to bring him back? Yeah, but under the right circumstances. Like, we need to improve our pass rush bad. And we're going to keep the same system. We're not switching to a 4-3. That's why I say that. Canales loves the system. And some people are saying, like, Cooley is a guy that we will promote and hire up. I'm not sure Cooley doesn't follow Ajiro. I wouldn't know how many people from this staff would not follow Ajiro wherever he goes, because he'll get a DC job quick. He runs the system that everybody wants to run, the Fangio system. People are going to want to give him a fresh start with better personnel. I get it. Again, I'm at the point where if they bring him back, I won't be mad. If he walks, I will completely understand. I would. But that's just a Ajiro. Oh, yeah, man. Standout players of the week, this rookie class. Shout out to Dan Morgan. Shout out to all the rookies. Again, making plays. This is what we wanted. We have to get contributions from guys that are cheap. I talked about it. You can't really buy your way out of poverty. Unless you're the Patriots, you get $100 million in cap space, apparently. We'll see how long that lasts, but there's just not a value return on paying players a lot of money. They get older, their salaries get more expensive. They typically don't get more productive as they get older. There's just a negative return on investment a lot of times. And so we're not a team that had a lot of cap space anyway. So we needed to get young talent that can contribute. Not just, they don't have to be all-stars. I mean, T-Mac has been a dog. He's been our lead guy. He's really helped our offense a lot. He's been dependable for Bryce. Scoring has started for a good chunk of the season now. The pass rush has some ways to go, but dude, he's an every down player. He has an every down skill set. He's young. He's still growing. He's contributing, but he's also a starter. So you have two cornerstones that looks like they're going to be now, one up front and the cornerstone of your offense at T-Mac, a premier receiver. But you're also getting contributions from Princely on third downs. He's making some plays ever so often. He's still got some development to do, but he's contributing. He's playing. He's getting snaps. Ransom, not a full-time starter, but when we have certain packages with Morig and we're going dime, you can clearly see he's in there and he's making plays. He made a play. He was in there at the end of the game last week against the Saints, contributing. Yes, it ended up contributing to a loss with that flag, but he's getting significant playing time. ETN, the full-time returner. I would love to see him get a little bit more on offense just to change it up, but he's a full-time returner. Wasn't great all the start of the year, but he's had some pretty good returns every game for the past 4 or 5 games. Whether they get called back or not is up to the refs, but they have been getting called back, but he's contributed. He has. Cam Jackson didn't get much, but we finally see it now. We just saw that. Now I'm curious to see more. I don't know if Turk was out of practice recently. Maybe Cam gets some more PT. I don't know. When you make a play like that, you earn more opportunities, maybe. We'll see. He's a developmental guy. They want it anyway, but he's contributing. He's getting snaps. He's not a liability out there. We're not just throwing guys out there because we have to. Look, you guys are getting playing time and being contributors. And Jimmy Horn Jr., he has a role. The gadget guy. I want to see it grow. I want to see him develop as a returner. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. But we're getting contributions. So all of them contributing, it helps. It matters. Cost-effective talent. You have to continue to feed and fill your roster with those guys while adding key free agents like a Mo Rig that help pretty much change our offense. Our defense, excuse me. Now we need to go spend some money on a darn bona fide edge. I'm cool with drafting a linebacker, but I would like to get a vet linebacker in there as well. There's not a surplus of great linebackers out there, so the market could be pricey. But we definitely got to upgrade from Roseboom. But for now, the young guys are contributing. I just love where we're at, man, with the young guys, man. It's great. We're 8-7. Like, obviously, big picture, this is just gravy because, like, dude, this is a competitive rebuild. This is what you want. It's taking a while, but we still have a ways to go on filling out the talent on this roster. On defense, we have some big needs. We need a pass rush in the worst way. We clearly need linebackers. We need to upgrade that nickel position. If we can find a better playmaker than Nick Scott, cool, but he's been steady, but we can still do better. There's a lot of places we can do better at. But we're still able to compete now while these young guys who need improvement clearly are getting the experience in big-time scenarios. It doesn't get any better than this, man. It doesn't. I'm super, super happy where we're at right now. I hope we finish this thing off, but it is what it is. I'm looking at the time. It's 1 hour and 14 minutes. We're 45 minutes shorter than normal. Yeah, man, it's y'all fault. Y'all keep me occupied with these comments and stuff like that. I'm just joking. I love interacting with y'all. Love the super chat. This one's a little bit different, but I love it. I love it. This is After Further Review. I appreciate everybody watching. Merry, happy holidays. Go eat you some food, some apple cider, some hot chocolate. I got to cook this red beans and rice tomorrow. Y'all wish me luck. Love y'all. Peace.